now that we have our coq au vin that has been marinated in our red wine brine for 2 days, and again, like I said, what happens is it adds flavor, keeps moisture in, or adds moisture, and also tenderizes. If you do it for a day, it tends to be a little dry. You do it for 2, it doesn't. Found that the hard way. Okay, so this gets the moisture on the outside of the chicken so we can get a nice sear on it. And when you sear something, you're caramelizing the natural sugars in that product, thus adding flavor and also eye appeal, because you don't want to eat a gray chicken. So now that we've patted our chicken dry from the brine, what we're going to do is we're going to sear it off. Searing caramelizes the natural sugars in the product and also adds great eye appeal. What you need to do is you need to have a really, really hot pan. You see the smoke coming out of the pan from the oil being so hot. We're adding our chicken to the oil, searing it on both sides. Nice, colorful chicken. That's what you want, okay? Thus, think of it this way. Color equals flavor. We're seasoning our chicken with salt on both sides. I know you think that we put it in a brine, it should be flavorful, but we're braising it in a liquid that doesn't have a whole lot of flavor to it. So you always want to season the product whenever you're braising something, such as our coq au vin here. We've seared our chicken on both sides, nice brown color on both sides. We remove it, put it in a pan. Now what we want to do is we want to add our mirepoix. We're adding our mirepoix, which is carrots, onions, and celery, with some whole garlic. We just want to swish that around in the pan a little bit, get that fond. That F-O-N-D is the French term. Fond is what's left on the bottom of the pan. We want to get that up into the sauce, thus adding more flavor to our sauce. Now we're going to add our tomato paste. Tomato paste, what we want to do is we want to, what's called a French term is pince, P-I-N-C-E. We want to brown our tomato paste just a little bit. That adds sweetness to our sauce and also gets rid of the canned flavor in that tomato paste. Once that is done, now we're going to add our red wine. We add our red wine. We're going to reduce our red wine down by half. Remember, you want the flavor of the wine. You want the acid, but you don't want the alcohol. Once you reduce your red wine down by half, we're going to add our canned tomatoes, and then we're going to add our chicken stock. We're going to bring that back up to a boil, and we're going to go from there. So now while we're waiting for our sauce to, our braising liquid to come to a boil, what we're going to do is we're going to make our sachet bag. And what a sachet bag is, you use a piece of cheesecloth. You need a piece of cheesecloth, a string, and then basic sachet bag is parsley stems, fresh thyme, bay leaf, and peppercorns. Okay? Then all you're going to do is just do like this. Twist it. You're going to tie it up. Just like so. And then you're going to take it and you're going to put it in your sauce. And that's it. Our sauce has come to a boil. We've got our sachet bag in there because this adds flavor. You want the sachet bag in there. It imparts flavor. The more flavor you add, the better your dish is going to be. Okay, so here we have our chicken, we have our sauce, and we're just going to pour this over top. All right, make sure you get your sachet bag in there. All you want to do is just cover your chicken. That's all you need to do, just cover your chicken. I'm going to leave the rest of this sauce on the stove so that we can get a nice reduction. Okay, I'm going to take this, right like this, I'm going to wrap it with saran wrap. The reason why you wrap it with saran wrap is to seal in that steam. And the foil will protect the saran wrap from melting. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a 250-degree oven for 2.5 hours. Now, what you want to do is you want to let your coq au vin sit in its braising liquid for till it's cold. And the reason is because whenever you braise something, you have to let it rest. Just like when you grill something or when you saute something, whenever you cook something, you always want to let it rest. What that means is that, so the chicken is cooked, but all the liquid has drained out of the chicken. Now you want it to be sucked back up in there full of flavor, okay? So now that our chicken has cooled in the braising liquid, what we're going to do is we're going to remove it. We're going to strain our braising liquid, which will turn into our sauce. Okay. Just going to set this bad boy. We'll just leave that right there. All right. Strain them out. And what I'm doing is I'm just pushing, since you have solids in here, I'm just using a ladle to push it through my chinois. That's a fine mesh strainer. What we're going to do is we're going to add our strained liquid, which will turn into our sauce, right to this pot. We're going to bring it to a boil, reduce down to a simmer. You can see the difference. See how thick that is? That's what you want. I reduced it down by 3/4. There's nothing thickening this sauce. You always want to taste it. Man, that is delicious. I'm telling you what, that is goodness right there. Now what you want to do is you just want to take your chicken. We're going to ladle some of this sauce right over top of our chicken. Okay? And we're going to put them in a 350-degree oven. Once it's hot all the way through, you pull them out, and that's what he looks like. We're going to let him rest. Remember what I said, you always want to let your product rest. While that chicken is resting, what we're going to do is we're going to saute our vegetables. Now these are already roasted. And what we have here is we have local carrots from Rooting Down Farms, local kale from Rooting Down Farms, sweet potatoes, a mixture of shiitakes, creminis, and domestic mushrooms. The sweet potatoes are from Ambrose Farms. The mushrooms are from Limehouse Produce. And then we also use some applewood smoked bacon. Then we're going to add our vegetables to it as soon as the pan gets hot. You always want to use hot pans. You never want to use a cold pan. Cold pan does nothing for you. It adds no flavor whatsoever. Hot pan, you're searing the product, thus again bringing out the natural sugars, or caramelizing the natural sugars in that product, whatever it may be. So you see how that sizzles? That's nice. That's what you want. Listen to that. Yeah. So I'm going to get a little heat going here. Remember, these vegetables are already cooked. We roasted them. So all we got to do is just heat them up. We're going to add a little bit of our jus from our braising liquid that's been reduced down. That'll help heat it up. And you always want to taste. So I'm going to taste to see if I need to adjust any seasoning. Doesn't need a thing. Just a little bit of butter will bring all those elements together. It'll give your sauce a nice mouthfeel, a touch of sweetness, and will also act as a little bit of a thickener. See how that butter thickened that sauce up ever so slightly? That's exactly what you want. Now that your ingredients to your coq au vin are already hot, they're hot, nice, ready to go, what we're going to do is we're going to plate our coq au vin. Okay? This just goes right in the bowl, just like so. And you can see how nice that chicken looks. You can see how the meat has come away from the leg bone right in here. It means it's nice and cooked. Okay, just like that. Now we take a little bit of our reduced sauce, pour it right on top. And there you have fat hen coq au vin. Enjoy.